Can you be friends with someone who has a radically different politics, for example? Because that's something that has definitely been become challenging for people in the last decade or so as we've become more politics has entered more of our personal lives and kind of toxified some relationships, definitely in the families, particularly where you can't really stop. But and I like to think that I'm friends with people who have radically different views than me, and I think it's true. However, my best friends are always actually not that far away from me. They're able to tell me you've gone completely bonkers on this one, or but they somehow share very similar values at some level, and so I'm of two minds of this.
I
I mean, for example, I'm doing a podcast soon with Peter Staley, who was one of the first members of ACT UP, who's a real lefty. I mean, a really angry activist kind of leftist. And to some extent, we just tease each other
right,
now at this point about our various politics. But again, he's not my closest friend. He's just a friend I've had for a long time.
right.
And I kind of enjoy those sparring matches sometimes when we get together, as long as we know that we can always have dinner or talk about something else. How about you? Do you have friends who have
Totally, I do, and I can give a really interesting example of late, which is I've got a friend who's awfully bright. I mean, she's so smart. She's smarter than I am, and she's gone down a vaccine rabbit hole. She's become a serious vaccine skeptic, and but she's made it easy because I mean, sometimes when she was first falling down this rabbit hole, she brought it up a little bit more than I was comfortable with. But then eventually she said that, I know you don't believe this. And we're not going to discuss this. And I think that some of it is like what you decide to privilege in your conversation. And if you decide that you're going to sit there and rub each other's fur the wrong way or not, you have a choice in these matters. David Carr, when he introduced me to his wife years ago when he was at New York Magazine, she had started her career working for, oh God, I'm going to forget the name of the Senator Boschwitz in Minnesota. He was a Republican. And David said, "Oh, yeah, I didn't know that Jill didn't give a shit about poor people until maybe we 3 or 4 months into our relationship." Like, in his Minnesota accent, which I just did a terrible job imitating. I'm usually good at it, but whatever, I'm not hearing it today. Anyway, but,
he's a
like,
hard one, David Carr.
he is a hard one, although he's got that
A
he
hard
had
one to mimic in any way.
oh,
He was so unique. I
he was
mean,
oh,
how do you sum up him?
Oh, well, I yes, and, when he died, it was, we all struggled because he was very hard to recreate. Yeah, he was kinda sui generis. He was who he was, but he married someone with different politics,